Hi, good morning. It's going to be one of those days. I'm senior mobile editor Chris Velasco, and joining me today to talk a bit about what's going on with Samsung and the many things it's slated to announce at the Galaxy Awesome Unpacked, which is starting in about 20 minutes. Sherlyn Lowe, reviews editor. Sherlyn, how's things? How you
Hi.
been?
As I have said many times publicly in the past, Awesome Unpacked is the title of my self-penned memoir. Not Samsung's of it. This is they're co-opting my title.
So is the lawsuit in progress already? Have you sort of got your legal team all set to defend your
My
claim?
people will be reaching out to their people, and
Gotcha.
then we'll be talking. Yeah.
So you're gunning for settlement, is what this is. No protracted legal battle.
So, you might not see me on Engadget for much longer if I am successful, or if they're successful. We never know.
Either way, Sherlyn is leaving. No, she's not.
No.
So this will be, if you count Samsung's CES keynote address, this will be Samsung's third major sort of streaming event in as many months. And I mean, historically, as we all know, Samsung tends to save these for really sort of flashy, high-profile announcements. Around this time last year, we got, among other things, the Galaxy Z Fold, which was kind of a wild announcement. I don't think we're expecting anything nearly that ambitious. That's not to say what we're going to see today isn't important. Sherlyn, give me a sense of what you expect to see when Samsung kicks things off in about 15-ish minutes.
Yeah, so this was, similar to last year, Samsung had a separate event to announce the fan edition phone, I believe. And it got a lot of people, myself, I think most of all, confused or somewhat excited for some kind of BTS, K-pop machine device thing. But this time around, the Galaxy Awesome Unpacked invite has similar wording in the sense that it's got like Galaxy for everyone, aka this is the phone for the masses. I don't know if it's okay to use this word plebeian. Do you guys, I don't know if that's like offensive to Samsung fans out there who see themselves as maybe more they prefer the A series, but that's what we're expecting to see here. Maybe like something in Samsung's mid-rangier series, because we already had the S20 event, S21, S20. I forget numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it's just like one up. When I was sort of looking into things to kind of like refresh my memory going into this event, I was like, I can't actually remember which one has been announced. But yeah, so this is the year of the S21, and I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Like every bit of like teaser, every little bit of messaging we've seen from Samsung so far really strongly seems to indicate this is a device or devices that'll be shown off today with sort of more affordable routes, really just trying to get some of Samsung's newest features and new developments into the hands of as many people as possible, which is always a huge thing for them. The leaks have been coming hard and fast, so we are pretty much expecting at least two devices in the A series, the A52 and the A72. But I mean, this is Samsung after all. There's a long history of them just sort of sneaking things in at the end, or maybe not talking about everything during the keynote, which is why you should definitely join us for a little while after the show while we sort of figure things out in real time and sort of go through that process with all of you watching.
I will say too that just to reiterate, this is our pre-show before Samsung kicks off its keynote later at 10 a.m. Eastern in about 15 minutes, and then afterwards, like V said, we will be answering some questions and discussing what the company unveiled. But right now, we're just chatting with you guys while we get ready for the show. I want to say hi to people who are already gathered on the chat. We've got, as per usual, one of our favorite and most loyal, dedicated watchers or viewers. Mark Dell is here. Hello. But
what's good, Mark?
Mark says he's very excited to see you, Chris, and he was waving frantically, he said. But also Daniel Cockane, Steven Saha. These are some familiar names. I know you guys have I know your names from seeing them on the podcast live chat, which, by the way, happens every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on the Engadget YouTube channel. If you want to chat more with us, just come back. Every week, we have a nice little community going on in the live chat. People are mostly friendly and educational, insightful. It's a fun time.
They're mostly
but also shout out to everyone else that we haven't shouted out, I guess. I'm going to try to call out some names just to let y'all know we see you. You know, Leandro Noguera, Josh Sakdeva, I think, A. Smith, Chen Hao Chen, On Ali, and Edward Love, and more, and more. So we
Yeah.
have 13 minutes, 14 minutes. What up? What do you want to talk about?
Well, so I don't know if you've been paying super close attention to the Samsung feed, but every once in a while they cut to this shot of this like frosted glass sort of cube with this interesting looking shape inside. It looks like it probably could be a phone, but it's got sort of opposite rounded edges and opposite sort of pointed corners, which would make for a fairly unusual smartphone design, but not strictly speaking an unusual phone design. I happen to have in my collection my very first favorite phone of all time, which happens to have the exact same body shape. It's the Nokia 76. So this is exactly,
I love that shape.
So yeah, we're now seeing it in the feed itself. What do you think is going on there?
In the box with the little silhouette?
Yeah, exactly. The very sort of teasy box.
Well, I think it's just possibly the shape of the phone. I know that this year, Samsung moved its design for the premium S series to this camera cutout corner thing. I'll be interested to see if they do it the same for the A series. I think judging by some of the leaks, it doesn't look like it. And then are they going to unveil something else that might be in that shape? I don't know, but there's a lot of chatter, a lot of questions in the chat asking if this will be for the Note series, and there's a lot of rumors about the Notes being delayed, maybe. I will say my gut is that this isn't for the Note series. The Note series is usually unveiled a lot later in the year, but have you heard rumors about the Note series being pushed back?
The Note series, look, man, like we've been tracking this for quite some time. Just to clear up any sort of misconceptions going into this event, I would be shocked if they had anything definitive to say about the Notes right now. Almost certainly nothing in the way of a proper announcement. Sherlyn, as you mentioned, that's pretty much exclusively like a summer and beyond thing. The Galaxy Note is Samsung's sort of second half of the year flagship to kind of see them through the holidays. So it would be way too early to see an official announcement of a new device. But a report broke on Bloomberg around 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern last night, in which DJ Ko, the co-CEO of Samsung Electronics, was sort of talking pretty candidly on Samsung's annual shareholders meeting about the chip shortage that's facing many, many companies around the world. And Samsung has confirmed that it is expecting its business to be impacted by that chip shortage in the next quarter. So that part of that story, the reason I mention it is because they shoehorned in this angle in which DJ Ko says, yeah, I mean, we're probably not going to do a Galaxy Note this year, but people who have been sort of following the story will know that that's kind of been the case for the last few months anyway. We already knew that getting a new Galaxy Note in 2021 was probably not going to happen, largely thanks to Samsung's desire to streamline its product line and more importantly, focus on devices like foldables, which they really expect to do a lot of business this year. So the Notes, unfortunately, I really doubt we'll hear much about them today. If we do, if that's what this thing shaped device was in that box, I'd be thrilled, but I wouldn't hold my breath for it.
Yeah, and speaking of the folds, by the way, Mark Dell wants to know, V, do you still have your Z Fold 2? How is the inner screen protector?
The Z Fold 2, yeah, still have it. It's by far like the best ebook reader I've ever owned. Sherlyn will attest to this. I am not a careful person. Yes. And I've maybe broken a phone or two in my day, including one that she let me borrow. But with that in mind, Z Fold 2 has been holding up pretty well. The screen protector on the outside is looking a bit rough, as you might expect. There's like little pockets sort of right at the edges where it's starting to lift up, but nothing significant. And inside is pretty much the same. I haven't dropped it face down. I honestly find it pretty difficult to do that, since if I'm pulling it in or putting it into my pocket, I mean, it's going to be closed anyway. So that's just like one avenue of my life that I don't really have to worry about that inner screen being destroyed. But I have noticed at the tops and the bottoms, right at the hinges, there's just a little bit of lift in that screen protector. It's not bad enough that I am actively considering just like ripping the whole thing off. But if it keeps going, I might consider it. And bear in mind, I've had this phone, I bought it, I guess, when it came out. So that's like at least 6, 7 months at this point.
Yeah, I almost wanted to say a year, but sorry, that's not right.
Oh yeah,
Feels like a year. It feels like a year.
Speaking of a year ago, a little over a year ago, we were in San Francisco for our last in-person sort of proper launch event for the Galaxy Z Fold 2. What a lot has happened since then. Are you catch me up? Like, how are you feeling now that we're doing this just like in our basement in our living room?
I mean, maybe it's a bit of a tired topic, but happy 1 year anniversary of the very first time we did a live stream like this. I think it's been just over a year since we started doing these live streams and watch with us from home things. And yeah, okay, cool. I mean, again, I like talking to you guys directly, other than when you all are spamming the live chat. And but I enjoy this direct conversation that I wouldn't get to do in a live, like an event in person, because in those events, like we've talked about before, we're frenzied, we're frantic, we're trying to get info out to everyone back home, and we're trying to get hands-on, and we're focusing on digesting the info as it comes out. Here we have the relative luxury of just calming and like just reacting live and not having to sweat as much.
Yeah,
I mean, metaphorically
and physically. I don't know about you. Also true.
Physically for you.
Yes, I feel seen and called out a bit in that moment, but that's fair. That's fine. Quick question in the chat that Shilin, I think you might be really well equipped to answer. Will they announce Wear OS on Galaxy Watch 4? Any sort of insight into that?
Is my answer.
Yep. Okay. That's pretty much what I thought.
Oh, geez. I just go, I mean, look, to give you a proper answer, no, I don't think we're expecting to see that today, but you never know. Samsung likes to surprise us. And I don't want to come too definitively down on this, because maybe I'll be wrong and maybe I'll have to eat my words, and that'll be fun live streaming for everyone watching me eat words. So
yeah, it's usually me that does that. It's usually me saying, oh yeah, this event's going to be like 40 minutes tops. And 2 hours later, I'm just sitting here pulling all my hair out, which is why I don't have any anymore.
For everyone that's been calling for mods in the chat, it looks like we finally have our mods are there, which is great. I want to thank our mod for helping out. But also, as to everyone else that's been asking questions, and I think someone left a very nice comment, I think Steven maybe, about these live streams having become much more fun since we've started them. Thank you. We have a lot more fun with you guys too.
Yes, and just to clarify for the people now just joining us, or yes, maybe who had just gotten caught up with us talking about whatever, the event, it is currently 9:54 a.m. in New York. The event is slated to begin at 10 a.m. Eastern, so you now have about 6 minutes to make yourself a coffee or a drink if it's later in the day where you happen to be, use the bathroom, kind of get your affairs in order before you come here and sit down with us to watch Samsung Galaxy Awesome Unpacked Live 2021.
Yeah, and to also clarify, during the keynote, which we have no idea how long it'll last, but I don't think longer than an hour this time. V had to eat his words the last time that's happened. But again, given this is expected to be about the A series, I wouldn't be surprised if it's over in 30 to 45 minutes either. So maybe you don't need an extensive toilet break right now, but during the keynote, V and I will mostly be quiet. We will not be chattering like we are right now. So you'll be able to hear what Samsung has to say. And then afterwards, we'll stick around to take your questions about what's been unveiled and, comment on it.
There is this gang thing again. And like, there has been no, wait a second. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to put on my speculation hat because if it's, mid-range phones, I'm down for them. I think everyone should be able to access more or less the best of what a smartphone is able to offer, that modern smartphone experience for not a lot of money. That's hugely powerful. That thing in that box looks kind of thick to be like a regular phone. What if?
I don't want to encourage any gambling legally or whatever, but if you had to stake Monopoly money on it, how much would you stake?
So my sort of Red Bull addled like thought process right now is that maybe what if What if that weird thick thing was actually a sneak peek at the Z Fold 3? Or sorry, yes, the Z Fold 3, because dang, those names are hard to keep on top of. How much would I bet? Well, as you know, I make really bad decisions about this kind of thing.
Yes, you do.
So speaking purely in terms of Monopoly money, $50,000. That's what that is.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
$50,000. That's the entire blue strip. The dark blue, royal blue strip.
Is it? I have not touched a Monopoly set in years. I don't even have the Monopoly money to pay you, if you're right.
Oh, okay. I'll buy you a set so you can pay me. That's clearly a lose-lose situation here. But so back to the chat. I think people see. I see what you're saying here. It does look like they have some sort of folded thing because it's a little bit of a thick boy or girl, whatever it wants to be. The DVDV. I didn't intentionally mean to answer your question, but I'm glad we did. People are predicting that it'll run 45 minutes. So there you go. Maury QHD is saying, unless Samsung is doing fillers or cringy stuff that they want us to talk.
Oh, you can. I would bet a lot of money that the cringy talk is going to happen.
Yeah,
it's a mainstay of every Samsung stream. And you know what? Like, I'm good with it. Just bring it. Like, they can't all be killers.
Are we expecting any surprise K-pop appearance? Any BTS, Blackpink, G-Idol?
Wait a second. Let me pull up a BTS logo real quick because I don't remember what those look like. But if you look at the box, if you look at the shape in no. If you look at the shape,
we're going deep into conspiracy theory land.
Doesn't that look like half of a BTS logo? Maybe.
We have 2 minutes until the stream starts, by the way, for everyone that's tuned in. So it's getting close. But before we get into it, V, if there were a Galaxy Z Fold 3, what would you want to see in it?
I would love S Pen support. I honestly keep thinking about that a lot. My Z Fold 2 would be perfect if I could just write on it because I just retain more when I write. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not alone in that. That's a very well requested feature, and it does seem like if Samsung does go forward with foldables, if it's not too stymied by those chip shortages, maybe we'll see that this year. We're now down to a little under 2 minutes. We'll Sherlyn, really quick before we head into this, what would you want out of a Z Fold 3? Since we're just clearly moving past the devices, we're going to see that.
I mean, yeah, no one wants to see the 8 series.
20 seconds.
I would like it to be a lot more affordable. I like it to be a lot cheaper, maybe, so that more people can get access to it. Better software, hopefully. Yeah. And better apps for that bigger inner screen. Yeah, that's been a huge sticking point. But yeah, price is going to be really important. Samsung has said they'd be doing more accessible foldables this year, which I think we're all taking to mean less expensive. But speaking of less expensive, Samsung Stream is now kicking off in earnest. Let's take a look. Okay. We're at that point where they're just sort of showing this boilerplate, and I don't know about you, but this is my favorite part of the show. Hey, it's 10 a.m. Go check out Engadget.com, by the way.
Yeah, go look at the things that they're going to announce. They told us kind of already. Sorry. Just spoiled the surprise.
Surprise!
Surprise, new phones. I really hate to say it, but this song has worked on me. I've just heard it enough times that I will never listen.
Oh God.
Oh. Oh. Oh no. Mm-hmm. At least that was fast.
That was the awesome song remix.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to our awesome Unpacked for Galaxy A. We're thrilled you could join us for this celebration of amazing technology for all.
Also,
that's what our
they're on
A-series is all
Engadget.com
about.
right now if you want to read about them all.
It's inspired by you and me and all of us. It puts the technology we need at every person's fingertips so we can come together and make our mark on the world. Galaxy A is awesome all around, so it's no surprise its biggest fans belong to the next generation of influencers. This is the generation that's harnessed the power of we, witnessed the global cultural sync, and come together with friends from around the world to stand icons, organize their own issues, and everything in between. We know we can create a better future for all, but none of us can do it alone. That's why Samsung is broadening our commitment to unlock the collective power of young leaders around the world to support the global goals. Together with the United Nations Development Program, we recently welcomed new members to Generation 17. From Nadine's inspiring community leadership in Lebanon, to Daniel's quest for justice and inclusivity in Brazil. We're excited to work with these inspirational changemakers and continue driving change for the global goals on more than 100 million Galaxy smartphones, including the A-series. That's the power of we. It drives us to support young leaders and actions to improve our world. Technology enables us to transform society today and solve the problems of tomorrow. That's why with the A-series, we've made Samsung's innovation accessible to all. Last year, we shared our conviction that every person deserves awesome tech with Galaxy A's awesome screen, awesome camera, and long-lasting battery. It's no wonder Galaxy A was the most popular family of Android devices in 2020. And this year, we're committed to the same mission of bringing innovation to everyone. We kicked off the year with the incredible Galaxy A32 in January. And today, we're excited to introduce our latest lineup, the Galaxy A52 and A72. Check it out.
Awesome, awesome, awesome camera. Awesome, awesome camera. Yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome screen. Awesome camera. Awesome screen. Awesome. Awesome screen. Awesome camera. Long lasting battery life.
How much do you think they paid for this song?
I don't know, too much.
I'm so excited to tell you about the all-new Galaxy A52 and A72. The Galaxy A series gives you a blank canvas for your creativity, so you can share posts and pics from a powerful piece of tech that fits in the palm of your hand. No buts, no excuses, just an awesome mobile experience. And we can't wait to see the amazing things you'll do with it. We've equipped the A52 and A72 with a truly iconic camera that will get your creative juices flowing. So you can create unforgettable posts, take fun videos with friends, and make stories your followers will love. Your camera helps bring people together. It's the key to a world of connections. And our versatile quad lenses help you create pictures and videos you'll love, all in clutch quality. The high-def 64-megapixel rear camera on Galaxy A52 and A72 keeps your photos and videos vivid and clear, helping you craft the best posts and stories. It's packed with amazing technology that will make all of your photos sharper and steadier. On top of all that, we're also bringing back optical image stabilization, or OIS, so even your most basic photos will look clear and bright. Here's how it works. When we take photos or videos, it's just natural for our hands to shake a bit. With OIS, the gyro sensor recognizes the motion and sends a signal to the microprocessor. This chip then calculates and sends a signal to the camera sensor on how much the camera lens should move to compensate for the motion. That way, the shots you take will look clear, steady, and ready to post. No more busted photos and videos. Let's see it in action.
Okay, I'll admit, having OIS back is nice. It's also worth noting that all three devices that we will see, or are starting to see, the A72, all use the same 64 megapixel main camera with that OIS, and I believe an f1.8 aperture. So, seems like a decent step up from last year's spate of mid-range A-series phones. We've not tried any of these devices. We hope to soon, but we'll let you know how that camera works out.
You'll get hearts from all your followers.
I'm struggling with this Samsung appealing to the young people thing.
This is, yeah.
The hearts, the clutch.
Brian Walton, I think you got it just right. The song is the worst, but the phones actually look pretty good. I will say though, Samsung, prior to the event going live, did not tell us how much these things are going to cost, and I'm expecting them to talk about that a bit more during the show. So we'll see how good a deal these things actually are.
With OIS and the image processing power from our flagship devices, these cameras catch your best light. Our remosaic and tetrabidding technology will help your content look stunning. We know you want your videos to be clear too. Super Steady Mode gives you cleaner takes and sharper lines. Let's say you're vlogging with a friend. On a typical camera, filming while you move will be super shaky. But with Super Steady Mode, you'll get amazingly smooth video. These features are great for capturing memories with your family or an impromptu photo shoot with friends. Have you ever missed a perfect moment while trying to decide whether to take a photo or a video? With Single Take, you can capture multiple shots in an instant. One long shutter press and you'll get between 2 and 9 different photos and videos at once. That way, you'll have plenty of content to send to your squad or to wow your followers. We're talking hard-eye reactions to your stories, subscribers to your channel, maybe even a DM from your crush. Sometimes, though, you need more clarity to fulfill your creative vision. So we're bringing 3 times optical zoom to Galaxy A72, which is a first for the A series. Now, you can take your eyes even closer to where you want to be with Space Zoom. With 3 times optical zoom and 30 times digital zoom, Galaxy A72 turns every image into an immersive experience. When your friend is taking in the beauty of nature, you can capture a candid from far away and still get a great shot. But no gallery will be complete without the best selfies of you and your friends. Thanks to the 32 megapixel front camera, you can all stand out and look great as a squad. You can even show your friends how you're really feeling with Fun Mode, created through our first ever camera partnership with Snapchat. It's new and exclusive to Galaxy A52 and A72. And it lets you enjoy fun lenses through the native camera app. You can make your friends laugh with one-of-a-kind shots and share them with the whole squad so everyone can check out your most unique looks.
The whole squad.
With new OIS,
I'm just going to point out every pointed reference to Gen Z
and Pro Mode for
that they
photos and videos. This is the most premium camera leap ever in the Galaxy A series. The awesome camera on Galaxy A52 and A72 lets you capture the world as you see it and create content to match. The Galaxy A series is all about bringing awesome tech to everyone, and it gives you even more ways
30x
to
digital
stay
zoom is
connected.
only for A72. That's
Galaxy
correct. That's because it's the
A52
only
and
phone being announced today
A72
with a
are perfect for
3x
sharing
optical
funny memes,
zoom camera.
collaborating on projects, and staying connected to your friends, family, and followers. With tech built to bring people together, you won't just spend more time with your besties. You'll be able to achieve more, whether you're writing songs or planning a virtual concert together for your community. That's the power of the Galaxy ecosystem and One UI. From smoother motion effects to customizable widgets, this interface enhances everyday features so you can get more done and have a gateway to new, unimagined experiences. And of course, Galaxy A52 and A72 come with the latest One UI 3.1. Let's check it out.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Get hype, because One UI 3.1 is finally here for you in your Galaxy A. But first, you've got to transfer data from an old device, which is already done. Wow! And easily access all your favorite memories with OneDrive. With One UI 3.1, you'll stay connected to the moments that matter and to all the people you love. Sometimes a simple message can get the whole squad back together. So get creative.
Squad, drink.
You can easily fire off a quick message straight from the suggested options. Hit them up with GIFs and pics. Get inspired through a 360-degree sound experience. Whichever way you turn, you'll always be in the center of the action. And if you need some together time, just connect 2 pairs of earbuds to
Shout
your
out
phone.
to Dalton Mojica.
Share a song
Mojica.
without sharing earbuds.
In the chat, your comment made
Some
me laugh out loud.
experiences just need to be shared. So
Hello,
you can
fellow
send
kids
demos
is gonna
and
be
memes
lit with the
to
Hype
all
Squad
your
besties.
Just like that. Check in with your besties by sharing your selfie
No, it's the besties again.
without broadcasting your location. And take privacy to another level with Private Share. Even after you share a pic, you'll still be the one who controls it. Keep track of who's viewing, prevent recipients from capturing it, and make it disappear in 3, 2, 1. Poof! Iconic, right?
Iconic.
Stay in sync with your friend group to
Yeah,
make sure everyone's on for your big day.
That's not iconic.
With Google Duo,
Look,
you
man,
can
as long
now
as they don't
invite
say
your new
squad
emoji
anymore,
besties
I'm
and chat
good
up
with
to
whatever else
32
they've got.
friends at once. From daily catch-ups to a bedroom concert, Google Duo is the perfect place to assemble your squad. Even when you can't be
Walk
together,
every time they say
nothing should
squad.
keep you
Please
apart.
do. Our producer tells us that's
Delightful
4 times they've
experiences
said
designed by
squad so far, so that's where we stand 13 minutes in.
Whether you're video
You should
chatting
drink every
on
time they
Google
say
Duo
squad.
with your friends and family,
we
or
could
sharing
and
your best
should, but it
moments
is 10
easily
a.m.,
with Quick Share,
unfortunately.
Galaxy A lets you do amazing things. The latest One UI 3.1 will be available across our A series lineup. Your squad is strongest when everyone is in
Fine.
sync, and your Galaxy A is the same. By connecting it with your buds, watch, and or tablet, you can share seamless experiences and
All
always
right, guys,
move
I
as a
think we're
unit.
going forward with a squad
With
counter.
your Check and Sync, it's even
Yes.
easier to accomplish your goals. For me, my New Year's resolution was to stay fit. But honestly, I haven't worked out as much as I wanted to, and neither have my friends.
Same.
What can help us get back on track? The Galaxy ecosystem. With my Galaxy Watch and the Samsung Health app, I can link up with up to 9 friends on a Samsung Health group challenge.
It's coming.
That way,
It's coming.
we can all stay fit, track our progress, and have fun. The A series also lets you keep track of your things.
Please don't
With
encourage
Smart
that.
Things Find, you'll be able to see the latest location of all your registered Galaxy devices or items with Galaxy Smart Tag. Our Find network has grown 5 times since launching last October.
Our Galaxy
This
Find
massive
squad
community
just got
with
huge.
more than 60 million Galaxy users will be there to help you find your favorite things. The Galaxy ecosystem has you covered whether you need a little help or a lot. Galaxy
You mean
A
the Galaxy
seamlessly
Squad.
connects
I
with 200
can't.
brands and over 2,000 smart home devices. With that kind of compatibility, you're free to create your own experiences and join new communities along the way. Galaxy A52 and A72 are making Samsung innovation accessible to all.
Once upon a time, only a few people had access to awesome smartphones. Pretty soon, people began to ask, why?
Why does my phone fall apart after 1 year?
Why must we worry about our data being safe?
Why does my phone have a great camera, but not enough storage to keep the photos?
Until one day, Galaxy A said to everyone,
Awesome is for everyone.
and everyone said, prove it. So, Galaxy A gave everyone a phone with no compromises, one with a lot of features, instead of just some.
Well,
and
I
everyone
mean,
was so happy
some
that they began to
compromises.
sing.
Just like this.
I'm sorry.
ring light.
I just saw our band.
And a Peloton. This is
Squad, stay tuned for the first show.
squad. Stay tuned for the photo squad.
Is for everyone. Everyone. Access to awesome technology is what makes the world sing.
So this is what it's like to be made
That's
officially
why.
obsolete as a human.
Awesome.
Is for everyone. Everyone. Awesome. Is for everyone. Awesome.
Daniel Cupcake.
Awesome. It's
You
for
done
everyone.
squad goals into
I saw that.
completion.
As you've just seen,
Good job,
the
Daniel.
Galaxy A series gives you awesome features in an accessible package. It has all the fundamentals you need to stay connected with your friends and share your content with the world. From the immersive camera to intuitive One UI and so much more, your Galaxy A puts the universe right at your fingertips. Now that's the Galaxy promise, and that's the fundamental of every Galaxy A. The A series brings awesome innovation to everyone. We all deserve tech that takes our creativity to new heights and keeps us connected to the people we care about. The A series keeps up with you no matter what.
And your squad.
And it matches your style with an incredible design. The 4 gorgeous colors and haze design speak for themselves. Galaxy A52 and A72 come with a soft edge design that sets them apart. And we built in minimal camera housing to highlight the beauty of the body. Finally, we gave these devices a muted finish, so they blend in with the rest of your accessories. With a minimized punch hole, the Infinity O display lets you get lost in whatever you're watching. It's a new design DNA for the Galaxy A series, glam enough for any occasion. And a fundamental part of this beautiful design is its incredible display. Galaxy A52 and A72 have the brightest, smoothest, and most vivid display ever in the A series. We built this new series with a high refresh rate, so you'll be able to scroll easily through all your feeds and keep up with your followers' comments. Our awesome screen helps you stay connected and stand out when it counts. Let's take a look.
Never thought I would know someone this true. All the time on my mind, baby, it's you. Taking me places that I never knew. And now you got
What's the first thing you do when you wake up? I love checking my friends' feeds and getting inspiration for my makeup and outfit for the day. With Galaxy A's high
That's
refresh
gonna
rate,
change.
you'll get
Give it like 10 years. That's gonna
smooth
change
scrolling.
real fast.
Perfect for keeping up with your squad.
Squad!
This
Squad!
It's
That's
not
it.
only
7,
super
6?
smooth,
I don't know.
it
That was
eyes
6.
by reducing blue light.
how this thing's gonna play out.
They really
We don't
quickly
think
flashed that
now.
info, but it's worth noting that
Check
the
out the totally new
A52
design for the
5G
Galaxy.
has the smoothest screen at 120 hertz. The other two only have 90 hertz refresh rate displays.
And stylish. And that awesome violet, it will totally complete your look. Outfit goals.
Goals.
And now you got me
That deserves a
thinking
counter too, I think.
Yeah.
Now that's a beautiful phone with an awesome screen. This stellar display lets you enjoy all your content, no matter the weather. If you and your friends are going live while you're outside on a sunny day, you won't have trouble seeing the reactions roll in. Our 800 nit brightness is the highest ever on the Galaxy A series, so your display will be easy to read in the sun. Galaxy A52 and A72 even make it easier for you to use your tech, minimizing harmful blue light so you can look at your screen more comfortably, even after hours of scrolling. With Eye Comfort Shield, 800 nit brightness, and real smooth scrolling, this is the biggest leap ever in the Galaxy A series display. The Galaxy A series gives you the power to express yourself, connect with your friends, and do the things you love for longer. That's why an awesome staple of the A series is its long-lasting battery. With Galaxy A52 and A72, you can spend your days out and about. This battery rules. Check it out.
I got roses in my eyes. She's got a heart full of sunshine.
Our live chat is great right now.
Guys, everyone in the chat right now is a GD champion.
You don't have to stress about searching for an outlet anymore. Once your Galaxy A is fully charged, you'll be able to use it for 2 days. So you can watch your shows, stay connected with your friends, and head out on a weekend adventure, all without having to recharge. Vibe check, battery's still going strong. And you know what's even better? Galaxy A's awesome battery isn't just long-lasting, it's smart. Forgot to plug in before bed? Don't worry. Your Galaxy A will automatically switch to power saving mode during your usual sleeping hours. So it will be alive when you wake up in the morning.
See what I mean? The power-efficient display and processor give Galaxy A52 and A72 battery life beyond 48 hours, so it can keep up with you on all your adventures. And when you need to power up, you can charge it real quick with the support of super-fast charging at 25 watts. Your Galaxy A lets you do more. With 1 terabyte of expandable storage, you can save thousands of high-resolution photos and videos, which means you can store more and delete less. And this much power needs awesome sound to match. Galaxy A52 and A72 deliver fuller sound with the first ever stereo speaker for the Galaxy A series. This surround sound gives all your videos and playlists rich bass, high volume, and spatial sound effects. And with Dolby Atmos, you'll experience a rich soundscape filled with unparalleled depth, detail, and realism that will bring you closer to the stories and music you love. And with Dolby Atmos for gaming mode, your favorite games will sound tighter too, so you can immerse yourself in any adventure.
Check our squat counter on the bottom
Galaxy
left, everyone.
A52 5G is perfect for users with a need for speed.
This is the best day
You get
ever.
the incredible network support of an additional 5G band, which means you can enjoy enhanced performance.
We got a lot of good
every
questions in
stream
the
and
chat. We'll
download.
get to them in the
That
post-show.
includes
So
your
squad,
games.
stay tuned.
When you and your friends want to hop on the server, the Galaxy A series has all the fundamentals to help you win. A highly responsive display, a long-lasting battery, an enhanced sound solution, game booster, and 5G support on the A52. It's a lot. And with priority mode, you can even block texts and calls while gaming, so you can stay in the zone. Sometimes, though, we want to find and play new games. You can enjoy over 100 Xbox games on Galaxy A52 or A72, right from the cloud with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. The next pog is right around the corner. But no matter what you're playing, no team is complete without a strong defense. We know your data matters to you. It matters to us too. Because nothing is more cringe than a data leak. Your info will stay on lock.
More cringe
thanks to a
than
defensive
this?
security
That's,
platform, Samsung Knox.
I wouldn't downplay
As one of the few companies
the
to design and
crappiness
develop
of a
its own
data
products,
leak by
software,
calling
and
it cringe.
services,
But you know what, Samsung,
Samsung
you've got your
offers
own
true
goals.
end-to-end protection.
Whatever.
By embedding security across every single layer of the device, we help protect personal information in real time and preemptively respond to increasingly advanced mobile threats. I'm telling you, A52 and A72 are high-key safe. And they're just as durable on the outside. See for yourself.
Did they say
High key safe?
high key safe?
Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh, okay. I'm back.
No.
I'm in control again.
Have you ever been in the rain and worried about your phone? I've been there. It's the worst. But now, you don't have to worry. The new Galaxy A series is equipped with IP67. So even if your phone gets wet or dusty, it stays safe. Facts.
Did she say facts?
I'm overloaded now. I don't know what she just said.
He said facts.
Rain or shine, no worries. Because when your phone is IP67, your limits disappear. Are you excited for the new A series? I'm super hyped.
Super hype.
With an IP67 rating, Galaxy A52 and A72 are protected from dust and water. You and your friends can go wherever the day takes you without needing to recharge or worry about damage. With Samsung innovation, you and your besties can embrace the power of we and reach new heights together. To tell you more about it, let's go back to Charles.
Oh, there's more.
The Galaxy A series makes awesome technology accessible, and it empowers you to craft a new era of creativity and conscience together with people from around the world. We're taking you from tired to wired all the way to inspired. A52 and A72 prove that awesome really is for everyone. They'll be available today. We are offering 3 generations of Android OS updates as well as regular security updates for a minimum of 4 years, which means you can use them longer with optimized performance. You can get the Galaxy A52 from €349 or the A52 5G from €429 in select markets. Galaxy A72 will be available from €449. Galaxy A52 and A72 come with a powerful multi-lens camera with OIS, smooth scrolling for all your feeds, water and dust resistance for every adventure. They're safe and secure with a 2-day battery to last through it all. These are awesome devices for every day. We're so excited to see how you use the Galaxy A series to express your unfiltered creativity and work together to bring awesome technology to everyone. Thank you for joining us.
And that's it. Hey, quick price check for our quick price check for our international users in the chat. What is the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition going for where you are? I'd love to kind of get a sense of how that compares to the new Galaxy A72, which
I want to hear
Samsung
this
just
song.
spent. Okay, I'll shut up now if that's what you really want.
Battery life. Awesome screen, awesome camera, long-lasting battery life. It's water resistant.
Dance party.
Resistant. Awesome is for everyone.
Deal with this
Oh yeah!
You guys, thanks for sticking with us through all of that. V, I have a proposal before we go on.
Yes, please.
What about for the rest of this post show, we try to say the words squad, lip, height, awesome, well, not awesome, as many times as we can.
So basically,
because we are the youngs.
What?
Well, I am.
No, we're in the same ballpark, and we're just going to leave it at that. But yeah, so in an effort to bring the same vibe to our post-event chat as Samsung brought during whatever this was, yeah, let's crank up the Gen Z vibes a little bit. So squad, what did you think about the way this thing looks? I can't do it. I don't
vibe check me for a sec, fam. Yo, lit. How much eat this?
I wanted to yeet myself out of my home and into the street. That's about the extent of my vocabulary there. Okay, so I'm going to throw a question out there, and
we've got some answers. It looks like.
Yeah, and we'll try and respond as best we can in that vernacular. Charlene, so we're, among other things, we're getting a new design here, which I actually really quite like, but I'm curious to get your take on it. And while you're answering, let me just see what people are saying in the chat here.
Yeah. So quick shout to everyone who's answering with their the prices of the S20 FE in their countries. Shout out to Singapore. Hi. I'm from Singapore too. Argentina, etc. But my answer to your question, V, is that I think the design looks fine. I thought the S20 FE actually looked pretty good. And then now I haven't seen it in person, so it's really hard to say if I like the I guess they're calling it the A52 and A72. I know they're not the same as the FE versions of the S series. It just gets a bit confusing with so many phones that Samsung continues to make. I would be curious to see like how different this is from the next Fan Edition S series phone too. Like I think that's where I'm going, because I would still prefer, I think, the look of the S series Fan Edition as opposed to an A series. I've never really thought of the A series as like big design phones, even though these do look nicer than their predecessors.
Yeah,
but it's not like you like them.
I'm a fan. I mean, like, so if you haven't seen an A series phone before, they used to have sort of like multicolor. It's hard to describe. They'd have dark plastic backs with just sort of very reflective bits that were, red or yellow or whatever, and then just sort of like a dark camera hump. So that was a very distinct vibe for the A series devices, and they were good looking for what they were. But now that they've moved into this new look for the 2021 A series, it really kind of feels like every Samsung phone is more alike than not, which is entirely true, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think, though, it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out price wise, because at the base level, the Galaxy A72 goes for €449. That's the equivalent of 535-ish US dollars. That gets you 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, the Snapdragon 720G chipset, and all the other stuff Samsung talked about. So not a bad package, but you can get the Galaxy S20 FE pretty cheap right now. So if that is the case in your market as well, I really have to wonder what Samsung was thinking about keeping the A70 series around at all. It might not be necessary in the way that it used to be.
The colors I will give you are nice. I just want to go back quickly to just this event overall. I think people are now learning that, yes, this awesome Unpacked event was only for the A series. There were no surprises despite that strange cube you were obsessed with during the pre-show trailer. And some other people are also, I think, Built to Different is one of the live chat users as disappointed that there is no Tab S8. And yeah, other devices. So sorry, guys, but that was a 30-minute event for, yes, an A series phone that was targeted clearly, even though the event says awesome is for everyone. I think Samsung's definition of everyone here is below 18 years old or below 21 years old, it seems like, based on the way they used the words they chose to use and the use cases they use as examples, right? Like, oh, when I wake up in the morning, I look at makeup tutorials, and right. When you're looking, One UI 3.0 is great for split screening, so you can watch your video and keep up with your followers' comments. I'm just like, I have followers and I don't need to keep up with people's comments that much. Like, it's not. And I'm also clearly not their target audience. I am too old for them. But big shout out to our live chat who, have such great questions about this, right? One, I think RMBW had a question. Am I too old for this phone? Is 30 years too old? Or can people who are below the poverty line, are they allowed to buy this phone?
That's the thing that really kind of gets me about this entire thing. It just feels a little tone deaf, right?
Yeah.
It's like every person highlighted in one of those like breakout reels to talk about the features was, well put together, 20 something at most. Like, it really served to drive home the idea that these phones are for like the young, maybe not affluent, but sort of upwardly mobile kind of creator class. And like, sure, I guess, but these are also, historically, Samsung's A series phones have been among their biggest sellers. The Galaxy A51 from last year was, I think, Samsung's best-selling phone of the year, or one of, certainly, because it was a good phone with a good feature set and solid battery life that didn't cost a ton of money. Like, those are the people who care about buying things on a budget, people who can't afford a flagship but still want the best they can get. Those are the people who are really going to benefit from these developments, these devices. I could kind of give an S about what the kids think about it, but and can we also just talk about like the weird discrepancy between having like a very sort of like youth forward messaging and presentation in what is ostensibly just like a trade show event. Like, I honestly wonder how many people under the age of 25 like cared enough about what they knew Samsung was announcing to watch something like this in the first place, right? Like, this is really kind of an inside baseball event.
I will say, like, one of our live chat audience members, Aun Ali, I think it says they're 17 and they still found it cringy. Thank you for vibe checking us, fam. But I will say there are younger people out there who tune in for these events, but not, like you said, the massive demographic that they're going after. Look, I get it. You want to target the youngs because they're the people who will have like lots of spending income in the few years. You want to get in there early. Sure. I feel like when they talked about things being accessible, my ears like went a little like pingy, I guess, because like, oh, you got new accessibility features. No, it's like accessible in a different the meaning of the word, right? It's more accessible at a more accessible price point, which, to be fair, that's one of the things that we need to address with accessibility too. Like, can people buy this at different income levels as well? And at a starting price of €349, what was it, euros?
Yes.
It does seem like it's priced better and has a compelling feature set for that price. But I don't know how much these tend to cost when they come to the US and how that translates. And we're seeing also like a big variety of prices all around the world based on our live chat audience.
Yeah, it's tough to say. Samsung so far has not told us what these things will cost in the US, or that they will come to the US. They'd mentioned that that's probably going to happen, but once carriers get involved, as they always tend to do, like we don't know what they're going to cost when they make it here. I do want to point out that if you're looking at devices right now in the US, I think you can find like versions of the A71 5G from last year for like $275. New models probably closer to like $600, but that's on the top end. Like, just instant, my immediate read of these devices is that all of them actually seem pretty good. Like, I think everyone watching can agree this was a really kind of cringe way to present them, but these seem like good phones. I have very little beef with like the meat of what Samsung presented. But yeah, pricing is going to continue to be an issue. My initial read is like the A52 and the A72 are like 95 to 98% the same thing. So just save money and get the A52. But I mean, we'll follow up with, hands-ons and the usual reviews and stuff if you want that kind of thing, because we haven't really done many A-series reviews, but let us know and we'll kind of dig into it further. One other thing I really did want to point out, and this is something that came up in the chat during the event itself. This was cringe as hell, but that also ironically made it like the most fun I've had it Unpacked in a really long time, right? Like they leaned into it and it kind of worked.
Absolutely. The tasty cookie in our chat says better cringy than boring. Totally 100%. I want to get to Daniel Cockane and RMBW. You have questions about the SoC, price, camera, display, and battery life use. Yes, we will get to that quickly. But I did want to say, I forgot what I wanted to say. So that's great. But yeah, we have the answers as to what chipsets are in here, right? I remember what I wanted to say, it's related, which is for €350, and if it is $350 when it comes to the US, if it comes to the US, 90 hertz at that price, 90 hertz refresh rate, I think is rare, and I think that that's something I would love to see as it continues to trickle down to the more affordable smartphones. High refresh rates is a feature that's nice to see at that price point.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we've seen a lot of sort of flagship tier features sort of trickle down market. And this is obviously one of the best examples I've seen in recent memory. Yeah. Getting like a 90 hertz refresh rate screen for like, let's say like $350, $400. Not bad at all. Like, it's certainly enough to make me consider doing something like that over like a similarly affordable Motorola. Though I missed their name in the chat, but someone did say that they would buy a Motorola over a Samsung because of this event.
Oh man, I missed your name too, and I know someone who's been commenting throughout. Anyway, as you can see, we have the specs showing up on screen for you. Thank you to our video producer Julio for throwing these up. You notice that Samsung did not mention the chipset in these press assets, but we do know that one of them is you have them. You have the info.
Yeah, and shouts out to Awun Ali in the chat for just like also being on top of this stuff. He knows, or he or she or they know exactly what's going on. The Galaxy A72 and A52 both use the Snapdragon 720G to better play nice with sub-6 5G networks. The A52 5G uses the A52 5G uses the Snapdragon 750G, which in addition to supporting that 5G is also marginally faster in terms of performance, despite having a slower max CPU clock speed. So there you go. You're getting a pretty good phone for not a whole lot of money.
Maori QHD was the one who was saying that they would rather, or they were thinking of buying a Motorola phone instead.
Maori, you've been a big player in the chat today. We see you. We appreciate that.
We see all of you, by the way. I just want to keep shouting out names. We see all of you. Brian Willie, I've shouted out Daniel Cockane and Awun Ali a few times. Misha C, Aiko Yori, Kendall Merritt. And then also, by the way, V, that monitor in your frame, is that a shout out to Mark Dell or like what's going on?
Yes. I absolutely thought about it. Next time we do one of these, I'm going to put up a little bit of tape and just write Mark above the logo.
People are like, is this a Dell ad? I don't think so. Just FYI. But so those are the specs. We had them up for a little bit there. V, are you excited at all by any of these camera things? I think that OIS and the sensor shift camera, if I'm not wrong, if that's the sensor shift camera, it's actually really interesting to see on the A series. What do you think?
I am cautiously optimistic. Like the A series they were pretty solid camera performance, and bear in mind we haven't touched any of these things, so it's hard to say for sure. But on paper, at least, it seems like Samsung has a really solid set of cameras here. A couple things to note though. I believe on the A52 and A52 5G, we're looking at, in addition to the 64 megapixel standard wide camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and then I believe, let me just double check, we're looking at two 5 megapixel cameras, one for macro photography and one that acts as a depth sensor. So, I mean, we see kind of companies cheap out a little bit essentially and go for macros in some of their less expensive phones. When you do move up into the Galaxy A72 though, you are getting the 64 megapixel main camera with the OIS, the 12 megapixel ultra wide, the 5 megapixel macro, and then instead of the depth, you have you get a telephoto camera with 3 times optical zoom that also has OIS. That might be reason enough for some people to buy the A72, right? It just gives you pretty much the full flexibility of a flagship array of cameras. Obviously, there might be differences in overall quality, but in terms of the flexibility, the tools that you're provided as you sort of like go through your life and decide what is worth capturing and what's not, that should be a really powerful sort of set of tools for people to work with, especially, I guess, really young people, because that's what today has been all about.
So speaking of the young people again, and as we're looking at these camera tools that Samsung's B-roll is showcasing, it's a group of what looks to me like young people, in a band at home or something. And during the keynote earlier today too, Samsung gave some interesting examples. I want to go over some of them. One of them is, so that as you have a virtual concert, you can hang out with your friends. I don't know how many of you are doing that, but our video producer Julio was saying that they can't be working on this stream for much longer because they have a virtual concert tonight for their block, or his block, as well as the fact that with these 4K videos or video snaps, you can cringe in 4K. So shout out to Julio. But I will say One UI 3.0 and also Samsung's built-in video editor in the gallery app of One UI 3.0 is actually pretty useful. Like I have used personally the video snap features. In the past, it was the 8K video snap, depending on the resolution at which you shot the video. And it's just a really handy tool for like capturing stills from your videos. I like that. I personally prefer the video editor and the built-in gallery on Samsung phones than Pixels. There was a fun fact, by the way, that I don't know, I feel a bit dubious about, which is Samsung said that the A series is the most popular family of Android devices. And I was like, really? Is that true?
So I think they might have the stats
in 2020, by the way.
Yeah. So it's just sort of like while I was looking to prep our story for the news today, I was doing a little research, and it looks like, according to at least one and probably a couple research firms, Samsung's best-selling phones last year, all of which made it to the top 10, were like the A51, the A01, the A21s, and maybe like one more. So yeah, in terms of like pure volume, it's absolutely going to be these slightly more affordable devices that really kind of pull Samsung and their smartphone volume through the roof. That's the big driver. That's why they're prioritizing getting this stuff. And frankly, that's why they're getting a full-blown event this year. Samsung is really sort of publicly confirming that, yeah, these are really important to us. We want to get this to as many people as possible, including this new audience of the youngs. Sorry, really quick. Misha C in the chat brings up a really good point. they say, funny thing is, I have friends who have teenagers who look at older flagships to buy with their own money. They don't look at mid-range or budget phones. And on the surface, yeah, that totally makes sense, right? Like, so much of like culture in general can have like very performative bents to it. So if you have sort of a flashy phone, even if it's from like a year or two ago, like no one's going to question it. All they really see is, oh, this person like cared about this enough to get like a pretty good phone. So that to me is one of the big reasons why Samsung really tried to like standardize the design language, because like an A51 from last year looked nothing realistically like an S20. But if you're buying an A71 or sorry, an A72 or an A52 this year, they're visibly, I would say, more premium looking than what we got last year. So the line between the flagship design and more accessible design is blurring in some really interesting ways. So maybe that'll help, or maybe people will just continue to buy sort of nicer, older phones, which is also a perfectly good way to do this thing.
Continuing the conversation around why Samsung chose this way to present the A52 and A72. I think we've established that the A series phones are important enough for them to have a standalone, even if just 30-minute event. And the wording that they've chosen throughout the presentation, we've already like picked apart. But I do want to shout out that excuse me, the live chat, Mark Dell and Daniel Cockane, and a lot of people in the chat were speculating how this must have come about, right? Like, and these are the few scenarios that I find very funny. Daniel Cockane says, Mark, or in response to Mark, says that this was probably an idea from a bring your kids to work day, which, yeah, I think the people in Samsung boardroom meetings probably have kids that are in that age range, that are in their teens now, who need phones that they want to buy for themselves. And instead of buying an older flagship, like you said, want maybe something a little cheaper. But I think the other scenario I was envisioning that made me laugh was when I believe Maori QHD said the popcorn eating over at Apple Park right now must be chompy. Let's come up with my own word. It's pretty chompy.
Yeah, instead of putting on an event for March 16th, Apple was just like, you know what? It's a Samsung thing. Let's just watch.
Yeah.
To an earlier point about sort of like who maybe greenlit this decision. I don't know, but like, so Samsung is a chaebol. They've got like, it's sort of like a family oriented conglomerate. So I wonder if there's like a 20-year-old like grandchild of like Lee Kun-hee, the founder, or one of the like early major figureheads in Samsung history. I wonder if they're just like, yeah, bros, let's just like eat this thing straight into our viewers' eyes. I can't do this. I can't talk like this. I don't know. I don't understand it.
We haven't said nearly enough squads during our Q&A, just so you know. We've said it once, now twice, I think.
I wasn't going to commit to it because I'm just bad at it. I've never been cool. I'm not going to start now.
I don't think it's about being cool, but I just want to round up the squad so we can go for a lit BBQ fam and do a.
Are we doing BBQ after this?
I don't know, but check our squad counter over here, fams, bots, and hype. Yeah. Yes. Also, by the way, I want to shout out to Mark Dell, who has already reaction gifed something on Twitter when I was dancing to the awesome song, the awesome remix of Over the Horizon. We were all wondering how much Samsung paid for that. No idea, but
this GIF.
A pretty hype remix of the Over the Horizon song. It sounded like it belonged in Beat Saber. Well, it sounds a lot like one of my Beat Saber mixes. But squad cringe for sure. Which brings us up to 10. Bing, 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 bing. If you're not buzzed, you should be.
Yeah, if you happen to be in a part of the world where it is not like early in the morning, I really hope you had a good time watching the Samsung event with like a beverage, because it was already pretty wild as it is, and I think a little lube just might have made that a really great thing.
Feel free to keep sending your questions our way. We are here not to answer only Samsung A series related questions, but anything under the umbrella of consumer technology, we're happy to talk about with our squad on the YouTube chat. So, V, did you see anything that you wanted to talk about?
Misha C again with the sort of interesting and astute observations in New York City, the Bronx specifically. What's up? I'm in Brooklyn,
Hi.
so
I used to live in the Bronx.
Hi over there somewhere. I only see mid-range phones in the wild every now and then. A lot of older flagships, though. I only see newer flagships in the wild maybe 6 months after they launch, which is really interesting to think about because like every sort of like prevailing narrative about smartphone ownership is that people hold on to their phones for a really, really long time. So yeah, like it does stand to reason that you'll see newer flagships sort of kind of sparingly for a while as people sort of decide that the phone they've had for years is finally not enough. But yeah, I kind of think of it. I don't really see, I mean, not that I go many places anymore, but like mid-range phones are definitely a rarer sight on the New York City subway. They really just tend to be like, more than anything, just like older, really nice phones that are just like beaten to hell. Like Sherlyn, do you like actively see yourself seeing like relatively inexpensive phones when you're out and about in the world, or when you used to be out and about in the world?
I used to mostly see iPhones and the occasional Samsung phone, and I don't do the model creep check thing. I'm just like, oh, that's a Samsung, I also really keep my eyes to myself when I'm out and about. But someone earlier in the chat did mention that most of the people they know don't use flagships, which is a good point. I think by and large, the majority of people go for a very established the brand name and whatever their carrier allows them to buy at a cheaper price here in the US anyway. And so that means whenever I see a OnePlus or a Pixel out in the wild, I get very excited because I'm like, oh, this is a techie, my people, my tribe. But it didn't say but.
I see more Pixels in the wild than OnePluses, strangely. But yeah.
For sure. I think Pixels more than OnePluses. And I wonder if that's got to do with carriers carrying them. Speaking of carriers, by the way, our parent company Verizon is a carrier, so just so you know, they don't have any control over our editorial content now. But yeah, I wonder how many of the people that they're targeting with the A series, the young people under 19 or 20, if they're actively making their decisions based on price, based on features for the price, or like do they just go for like an easy pick, like oh, whatever my parent allows me to buy, maybe, I don't know, or whatever I see has the best features and maybe that's an S series. I don't know that. I really don't know where price and mix of features for the price comes into the decision making process for people like that. I have no idea. I'm so far removed from that.
Yeah, no, so am I. Like, some days I really think about how I'd like to work at like a market research firm and just like ask people questions all day about why they do the things that they do. Like, I was like a marketing major, among other things, in college, just because my parents wanted me to have a shot at getting a real job. So like, getting that kind of insights has always been really interesting to me. But yeah, to your point, like we spend so much, like we don't have access to that kind of information. One would assume that people sort of like logically and thoughtfully think about what they need and sort of what would be the best device that kind of suits those specific sets of needs. But I mean, like we all know that clout is a thing and brands are a thing, and a lot of people tend to naturally gravitate towards iPhones or like high-end Samsung devices because they carry cultural weight that something a little more down market just might not have. So really? I would love to kind of get a sense of like where we as a people are generally with that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think either of us are in a position to like really make that call.
Shout out to Mark Dell, Daniel Cockane asking about the Engadget Discord. If there's an Engadget Discord for us to hang out with y'all and chat. Unfortunately, yeah, we don't have one yet, but I have been asking around about it. We just have to, it's not because we are owned by a big corporation that I mentioned before. There's a few things we need to like, just iron out before we do that. So it's not as easy as saying yes and then setting one up that we allow public access to. But we're trying. We love talking to you guys. So come to Twitter. That's definitely a place we can so-called hang out with y'all. And Twitter is doing spaces soon, so maybe we'll be able to hang out there. But there's sorry, go ahead.
Sherlyn, should we do a Clubhouse and just talk about this stuff?
I would be more than happy. We're both on Clubhouse, by the way. And if you have Clubhouse, I don't enjoy doing Clubhouse because it's not live closed captioned. So it by default leaves out people who can't hear or hard of hearing.
Yeah. It's also not available for Android yet, I believe, which is just, can I say shitty? It's shitty.
Yes, it's shitty.
It's not
definitely. Good. It's pretty BS. It's not lit, fam. But I will say that I'm down, I guess, to do. Why don't we just do a co-Instagram live? I feel like that would serve us better.
Could do. I guess we should also point out that for anyone who wants to see more of me and Sherlyn just like talking about whatever, I'll be hanging out on the Engadget podcast tomorrow with Sherlyn Devendra.
Yes, that's tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on the Engadget YouTube channel. So basically, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe so that it will give you a little notification when we go live tomorrow. And oh gosh, this is what happens on the Twitter where Mark Dell, we've already done the reaction GIF. Thank you, Mark, for your excellent work. Julio gives you a salute, I think. Anyhow, come back for more, I guess, bad dancing
and Gen Z slang.
Oh my gosh. How many things can we get Devendra to say tomorrow on the Engadget podcast?
None, but we will scream all of it in his face. And
Yes. We'll be like, you're not lit, bro. Seth. But yeah, no, definitely come back tomorrow and let us know if you want us to do an Instagram live, I guess, where we can talk about anything under the sun, really.
Yeah, a couple quick notes from the chat. Aiko Yori says, but Clubhouse isn't on Android. Yes, we're fully aware that Clubhouse isn't on Android. We will almost certainly never do a Clubhouse for that and other reasons. I mean, we obviously just like, we know our fans, we know our community is on a number of different devices, and sort of only talking to people who have iPhones is really shitty. So we wouldn't do that.
Totally. And also, speaking of more questions, there are someone, I just want to get your name, by the way. The Vatsal Nagda, I believe, hope I'm pronouncing it right, asked if the Samsung S20 FE 4G variant, is that worth buying right now over the current mid-range phones, which I'm assuming are the A52 and A72?
If we're comparing that thing to the phones that just were announced, I mean, one could make the argument that if you really care about the camera, the A72 might be a slightly better way to go. But if it were me, I mean, I would have purchased an S20 fan edition like ages ago and not thought about it. Like, it is just, I'll gladly take the flagship power. Like, I remember writing my review-ish thing of it and just thinking to myself, like, this is not ideal. And it came to pass that there were some sort of like screen issues with certain devices after a while. But for the most part, like in my time with the S20 FE, I really struggled to come up with things I didn't like. It was really just a capable package that didn't cost a lot of money. And that's really important. And Samsung got most of it right. So I was generally pleased. I would still go with that, but these, bear in mind, the A52, the A72, these were just announced. They're just now available today. Yeah. Give it a couple days, see what the coverage is like, see what the reviews are like, and maybe make your call then.
And I will also say the difference between, I mean, okay, look, I'm going to ask you this and then go on to my broader questions, which is the S20 FE is more like a flagship phone with some tweaks down to bring the price down to more like a $600, $500 level. Yeah. Right. And then these A52s are more like $350, $400 level, and they have a whole different chipset. They're maybe not as flagship level, although their cameras somehow now seem to be better than the S20 FE. So that's kind of where is the distinction for these two brands of phones. But I have to wonder, with the way Samsung keeps targeting like so-called everyone with the A series, and then the FE is the fan edition, and then I guess the S series is for the super high-end spec obsessed people, and then the Note is for the even more extremely high-end spec obsessed person. Like, the way they're, I think, positioning these different families of phones. Like we've said so many times that Samsung makes too many phones or too many variants of its phones. What's the overlap? Or is the S20 FE or the FE series for, let's say, the S21, is that like for everyone? Or what does Samsung mean by the fans that's not everyone / into the specs? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. So the way I interpret like fan in fan edition are people who care about phones, which usually by extension means that they have some sort of preference for performance and like competitive feature sets. And generally would be they like the idea of a flagship phone, just like they don't want to pay the money for it. If you move down to something like the A series devices, and to be absolutely clear, the A series runs like a huge gamut. Like the A01 from last year, I think was like at or slightly below maybe $100 US. So that gives you a sense of like the crazy range we're looking at. So yeah, you're definitely right. At the upper end of the A series, like A52, A72, the line between sort of flagship minus, which is sort of what I consider the FE, and sort of mid-range plus gets really murky. And I think that's sort of the area Samsung could stand to clarify a little better. Like the A70, like I get that the A72 sort of the LTE model, they have not officially announced a 5G version yet. Like that'll certainly do in some markets where like people are generally more sensitive to price, and the jump of even $100 to go to a Galaxy S20 FE just isn't feasible. Like it's very much sort of like an edge case play where, I mean, there are going to be people all over the place who just have wildly varying budgets. So with that in mind, I do think it's kind of nice that Samsung has really something for like every really granular slice of the market. But just from, and maybe this is like because we do what we do, like it's a lot to keep track of, and it's easy to look at all of that and just say this is like too much and throw our hands up, because like it is overload a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think that plenty of choice and more consumer choice is a good thing, but there is also a too much consumer choice to the point where it makes that decision making difficult. And we're borderline into that realm now. I think we're almost into the point where like I can't tell someone what to buy because I have to be like, look, yeah, the A72 might be a good buy now, but you never know, in like 2 weeks they might announce a new fan edition, and then you're gonna be kicking yourself. And then how am I going to recommend that someone buy? Every time my friends ask me what phone to buy now, which it happens a lot, they think of me as a phone person. I have to be like, look, how long are you willing to wait? Because they might have something coming up soon. And what's your budget? And how important is camera to you? And how important is the chipset to you? Like, that's how granular the distinction is now. Like, for every little different factor, there's a different phone for it, it feels like. Which, again, from a certain perspective, is a good thing. Consumer choice, more consumer choice is a good thing, but not at the point where it overwhelms the consumer.
That's a good point. Like it's like consumer choice, obviously a great thing in theory, but when you basically need like a translator to help you figure out what's right for you. I mean, hey, you've got me and Sherlyn. Like we'll be glad to do that for you. That's why we're here. Do what we do. But I mean, not everyone has that luxury. So like, yeah, it does get to be daunting. And like there are other factors in the mix that make this really kind of odd too, especially now, right? So like there is that chip shortage that Samsung is now having to deal with. It has said that its business will be impacted in the second quarter of this year, if not longer than that, because chips are just incredibly difficult to sort of keep in supply for anybody. It's also not entirely clear to like what extent the fan edition will stick around. Like the fan edition S20 seemed to do really, really well last year. I wouldn't be surprised. I think in a conversation that we had with someone at Samsung, they said that the fan edition will continue, but they didn't say it was going to be like an every year thing. So like maybe we see sort of, I don't know, like we won't get like we were supposed to maybe get like a Note 20 fan edition this year, but sounds like maybe notes are off because of chip shortages or whatever. So maybe that shifts to like a less frequent release schedule to kind of give the A series kind of its real driver of volume growth a chance to kind of grow even more. But again, we'll see.
I want to shout out back to the chat really quickly. Just some really fire comments. Daniel Cockane said, if if Z Fold 3 announcement is this lit, Mark Dell will be baited into buying it. Also, if they make it the S20 FAM edition, that's FAM for mother, FAM family edition, yeah, where you're chucking your money at it, I would too. I mean, no, actually I wouldn't. I'm not that lit. Note 20 Ultra is boss. That's your username. Says Note 22 Ultra for me in 2022. Which, given your username, I think it's a very cool statement to make. I'm very proud of you for sticking to your brand.
This person knows what they want.
Yeah, exactly. They know who they are. They know what they want. Aiko Yori said, I heard someone say, who are the fans Samsung was referring to? The fans would go for the maximum specs. Exactly. I think this was a sentiment that was felt during the fan edition announcement event. So just some really good comments from y'all in the live chat today. Thank you for joining us as always.
Yeah, I'm chewing on this thing Mark Dell just said, our boy Mark Dell. Samsung just needs to have a phone builder where you can choose your own parts. And like, Sherlyn, do you remember, were you around? Were you doing this back when like the Moto X was a thing where you got to like,
I was in the biz.
How cool was that? Just like picking your colors, getting your finishes going, choosing how much like.
That was so cool.
Obviously, it's a far cry from exactly what Mark is thinking of, but like, yeah. Built to order phones would be such an amazing thing, but also just so
hard to do,
economically impractical.
Totally hard to do.
Yeah, like the only reason these things cost as relatively little as they do is because Samsung can make like 5 million of them at a time and sell them for whatever. So like, I love it. I want it. If you can figure out a way to do this, I will be your first customer. But good luck, I guess is what I'm saying.
I will like to point out that I know I said that the consumer choice being overwhelming thing was an issue, but Dwayne Wally, I think, said the A72 is an ideal sweet spot for them, and that Samsung does a great job at having choices for every price range. I do think that that's a good point. Like, look, I agree with you. Again, having good choices at every price range is a good thing. And that's how Samsung is really owning the market, I guess, because if there is a Samsung option, no matter your budget, why not pick the Samsung one, right? Like, why go for a OnePlus if it's harder for you to get a OnePlus versus a Samsung, which again, in the US, every carrier will have. So if Samsung makes it easy for you to have its version at every competition level, it will sell more, probably.
Oh, yeah. RMBW with an interesting point. Would you review a device after 4 to 6 months for price, value, and performance? This is something we would love to do, but just like, so when you're talking about sort of reviewing phones, like it's me and it's Sherlyn when she can, and then like a handful of like other people, if in like the UK and Hong Kong, like when the stars align and we can make that work. So I would love to kind of do sort of longer term, like 6-month in reviews. If you guys really, really care about that, please let us know. You can email us. You probably have our emails, or just tweet at us to let us know. Because if that's the thing that people really find value in, we'd love to kind of explore it further. But for now, at least, I feel like we're kind of spread pretty thin as it is. Like, who knows how many events are coming up in the next month or so that we're going to have to stay on top of. So let us know.
1,000% agree. And also, just for context, I don't know if it's context, but for some extra info, like we do some of these longer reviews where after a year with a significant phone, like I believe the iPhone 10, we do a year later, like a review a year later. And I agree with the idea that like after a few months, you start to see performance issues and you know a phone and its DNA a bit better. Like for me, I've been using the Pixel 4a for close to a year now, and I actually have been planning to write something about that, so you can stay tuned. But the Pixel 4a is a surprisingly good phone for $300 or $350 and you will see a 1 year later review from us. But hey, I'm also more than happy to keep just talking about behind the scenes how Engadget does things type of questions. If you have them, I'm happy to answer them, so send them our way. Also, I wanted to shout out the banner that we had just now, which was chat vibe check. Give us your chat vibe check. Give us a vibe check. How you feeling our vibes, people? You liking our vibes, crew? How are we feeling today? Yeet.
Yep. Everything she said plus squad. Goals.
Squad.
Cringe. Fam.
Oh my gosh.
Yeet. A couple other things going on in the chat. Mari QHG asked, "What is a Moto X?" If you are serious, it was a device from like I think it started in 2012, 2013 when Motorola Mobility was owned by Google, and Google just used them as their like in-house skunk works for phones. And one of their big ideas was, "Hey, here's a phone, customize the shit out of it." So if you wanted a wood back like Mark had and I had, you could totally do that. You could choose any number of like weird polycarbonate colors. You could choose like whether you wanted chrome, like the color of your sort of shiny trim around the phone. You could get like a little thing printed on the back. It was a great experiment in sort of customizing, like making your phone truly yours. And I wish it kind of went better than it did. But I think as it stands, Google only did that for about, I don't know, 2 to 3 years. I think it might have continued with some of the Moto Gs to an extent a little after the Moto X's kind of stopped being a thing. But yeah, like it was a great...
Mauri was pulling your leg, by the way, but Mauri says they're 30 and they know the Moto X.
Look, I don't know who's what, but Moto X, just go cop one. It's still great.
There's a question I want to get to but before we get there, I want to say that the people who are volunteering or saying that we should contract reviewers to do these few months later reviews, sure, yes. Do be aware though that every article that's written for Engadget goes through an editing process, so it still adds to the workload of the editors here at Engadget. Not to say that we're against it, it's just we will have to prioritize what to do first. But I also want to shout out that we do have our reader review, like sort of compilation post that's done by Amber Booman every time. We have a calendar and we earmark some noteworthy devices like the latest iPhones, the latest Galaxy, and the latest laptops, etc. And we do call for submissions. So keep an eye out on Engadget for those. If you have something you've been using for a while and you have strong feelings about it, or you just want to share your thoughts with us, just check out our readers review, etc., or call for submissions on Engadget. You'll be able to tell us your thoughts after having used these devices in the real world, because my world isn't real. And we'll publish your thoughts with your name and everything too. That's not the same as paying you in Engadget GIFs. I know that, Daniel, but hopefully it'll give you some consolation. The question I did want to get to, V, this is a question for you. DVDV asks, apparently the OnePlus 7 Pro still holds up to this day. Do you agree?
In all honesty,
that's a long time ago.
I haven't turned on our OnePlus 7 Pro in a while. In terms of, tell you what, like if you, I'll go try it at some point. I'll let you know. But everything on paper, as long as if you bought one new, if you somehow managed to get one new in box, yeah, I would say it's still a pretty solid contender now. If you bought one secondhand, that's just sort of been put through real life. The battery might be a bit suspect. The performance, I imagine, would still more or less be okay. But I think we're all sort of aware that phones in general, after a while, just tend to slow down a bit. So conservative, like conditional, yes, it would still hold up great if you had a new one. But if you just like got one from somebody or bought one secondhand, that might be a bit more of a question mark. Kind of depends on what we're looking at.
Yep. I agree. Again, the OnePlus 7 Pro, let's be clear, was what, like 3 OnePluses ago. Well, the flagships anyway, not counting the Nord. And speaking of OnePlus, next week there is supposed to be a OnePlus event, right, V?
Yeah. So, if you're looking for a cheap phone, don't buy one yet, because we got a whole lot of stuff happening very, very shortly. This is, I should also point out, it's it's like the middle of March right now. We're just about getting to the point where last year Apple kind of unveiled the iPhone SE, which was, I think, its second best-selling phone behind the iPhone 12 and 12 minis. So if you're really considering buying a non-super expensive smartphone, it might be worth holding off for just a couple more weeks.
I know we're being a little sus,
we don't know anything. Like we don't actually know anything.
I just want to do the like hot lingo word counter. I don't care if the word I say is squad or sus or hype or fam, but we got there. And someone, I believe Aiko Yori, I think, was the one who suggested that we do a shout out. We throw the word shout out into that counter. I do say shout out a lot. This is true. That's because I like shouting out to y'all. Josh Sakdeva, I think, asked, as an S9 Plus user, should they upgrade?
Ooh, There's some context there that's probably worth unpacking. Like if you bought an S9 Plus new, like presumably you had like flagship money at some point, and if that's the case, like just I would hold off. Like nothing about the A72 seems like an upgrade in your position. Like just keep saving up and get another flagship. But then again, if you got it secondhand or whatever, like, yeah, it's a very difficult call. But I would say for the most part, just wait a little longer. Unless your phone's falling apart, like you're probably okay.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, though, right? With the whole advice giving thing. Now, my advice to everyone is just like, how long can you wait?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you can wait, there's going to be better options very quickly. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, back to the chat for a minute. There was some confusion over the collaboration that OnePlus is having with a camera maker, Hasselblad. They've already talked about this, but I believe Daniel Cockade maybe misspoke, mistyped, or was confused or mistaken and wrote a Hasselhoff lens. V. What are your thoughts on a Hasselhoff lens?
I'd be surprised if it did a damn thing, honestly. So OnePlus made, like, I think this was like March 8th or so when they started like talking about this stuff officially. No more teasers, like actual words to describe what they were doing. And their whole partnership with Hasselblad is part of like a 3-year, $150 million investment in improving the quality of their cameras. And really, it seems like the thrust of the Hasselblad partnership for now in these next like OnePlus 9 series phones is like improvements to color science. So like you get just more natural colors right out of the gate because Hasselblad helped them tune the way your resulting images should look. That doesn't sound like the most amazing thing in the world, but I mean, I could be wrong. If there are photos taken with the thing that are floating out there, I haven't seen them, so I can't say for sure. But I think it'll be a little while before we see the Hasselblad partnership really kind of pay off for OnePlus. And there is also it's not like if people like Amari QH2, who I know is closer to my age and has probably been following this stuff for a while, you might know, for example, that Hasselblad had a partnership with Motorola for the like original Moto Zs. They made a Moto mod that was basically a 12 megapixel telephoto camera that attached to the back of your phone and just replaced the camera your phone already had. And it kind of sucked and it was kind of expensive and no one bought it. So hopefully this thing turns out better for Hasselblad than their last mobile partnership did. But at this point, it doesn't sound like we're getting a whole lot. Like OnePlus used a lot of like space imagery in their teasers for this stuff. So I sort of naturally said maybe like a cool astrophotography mode. Like I really love that on the Pixel, and that's not going to be a thing. So none of these partnerships are always hugely
Hasselblad aside, I was more concerned on your views on the Hasselhoff camera, which is a whole different thing entirely.
Oh yeah, well, the Hasselhoff camera is a special software feature that they baked into this year's OnePlus 9 series, so it uses AI sort of under the hood to do image recognition. And if you're walking around without a shirt on, it just gives you like a 6-pack and like really beefy arms and stuff.
I like that.
If you're a woman, it gives you like a red swimsuit, like full on Baywatch style. It's really weird.
And big hair,
big like bleached to hell blonde hair. Like it's very strange the extent to which OnePlus and Hasselblad worked on the Hasselhoff AI camera, but it does appear to work fairly well. So take that for whatever it's
Oh, okay. Can't wait to see that. We're going to wrap things up shortly, you guys. It's been almost 2 hours now, so our we would let you go back to your days. Thank you for joining us. But I think we have maybe a minute or two to address any last few questions you might have. But if you don't, we're very, very glad you came and hung out with us today. And come back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Thursday, March 18th. Back here on the Engadget YouTube channel. We will be chatting again, but we will be recording the Engadget podcast live. So we'll have segment breaks in between which we can talk to you guys. I don't know if there's any more questions. I'm trying to check.
We've got a couple more Hasselhoff camera things, but I think we should just let that one lie for now.
Yeah, we can talk next time about the Hasselhoff camera.
But hey, bring it up tomorrow if you want. Whatever.
I feel like that was more an organic thing that came out of this chat. Although we could probably talk about it on the. Yeah, whenever OnePlus does announce his phone for real, we can talk about it. Aiko Yori has their hand up. I don't know if that means there's a question coming or if that's a goodbye. But thank you all for joining us. As always, we are very grateful that you chose to take time out of your day and join us here today. Our community here is great. We see your questions about the Discord. Hey, if you want to join, create your Discord and invite us. I will be happy to receive invitations for sure. I can't guarantee I will be
we'll think about
a lively presence, but yes. And also, let us know if you want to interact with us on social media. I'm at Sherlyn Low on Twitter. V is at Chris Velasco, I believe. V, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Yep, at Chris Velasco, or you can just email me because I'm one of those people who really enjoys sending emails. I'm V at Engadget.com.
Yes, and I do not read my emails at all, so just. Well, I do, but I don't want to discourage PR people from emailing me. So PR people email me, but no one else really should because I get pretty frustrated. But you can also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is on my Twitter, which I already just said. And let us know how else we can interact with you. We love talking to you. Me and V especially love talking to you guys all the time. Yeah,
it's always a good time just hanging out with you guys in the chat. Really kind of just made my day a little better. So thank all of you. We really want to thank all of you for joining us today. This was an Unpacked for the books. I think we can all agree. So I'm glad we all got to share that moment together.
DV says, thanks for a fun live stream, and they're subscribing. And yeah, seriously, thanks for subscribing. I wish I could give you a personal thanks for everyone that subscribes, but this time around I was able to thank one subscriber for subscribing. So hey, thank you. And join us again tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.